Hello!
I thought we were testing the seats out.
Wait, what are you doing?
Are we in frame still?
Yeah, we're in frame, right?
Oh, okay.
Alright. Hello, and welcome to Drunk Doctor Who.
Welcome to Buzz Doctor Who.
Buzz Doctor... No, wait, drunk... We're gonna get drunk by the time it's over. You get more vodka.
What are we drinking today?
I have
Fireball.
Fireball, cinnamon whiskey for a change. And what do you have?
I have vodka and sweet tea.
Sweet tea. They look the same, but they're not. Because this is heavily diluted with tea, actual tea, with a little bit of vodka. And mine is straight alcohol, although it's only 33 proof. It's not that bad. Alright. Okay, today we watched The War Machines. This is episode 27. Today is July 29th, 2019. We watched The War Machines.
We actually did 2 weeks consecutively.
For the first time in a while, yeah.
For a while.
This is the very last serial.
Maybe that's why this week seems like it went by so fast, because it's Monday already.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I just never noticed because we kept skipping podcasts.
Alright, and this time we didn't. So, this is the very end, the last serial of the third season. It was 4 episodes. It was aired from June 25th, 1996 to July 16th, 1966 to 1966. The companions were Dodo, Ben, and Polly. You gotta write Ben and Polly.
I get to it.
Ben and
I gotta get the W right for Votan.
Okay.
It's a very specific W.
Votan. It is correct. Anyway, some interesting things about this particular serial. It is The War Machines. First of all, it used the then very, very new, for 1966, post office tower, or post tower. It's literally where they had, in London, a bunch of the mail stuff and all that. Also, towards the top of the tower, you had a bunch of dishes, like satellite dishes, that beamed out BBC and stuff like that. It was kind of a weird thing to put in the middle of London. It's really kind of the start of their really, really tall buildings.
Very sci-fi looking.
Yeah, very sci-fi looking.
Time.
Well, it's mid-60s. Now there's a bunch of really big, tall buildings, more like New York or Hong Kong or stuff like that. But at the time, this was fairly unique. Anyway, so the plot is that there is a computer called Votan, spelled W-O-T-A-N. They're using an alternate pronunciation for the W, which was because the W was based on 2 V's back in the old days, so you could spell things with a W, pronounce it with a V. The same way we spell things sometimes with an X, but pronounce it with a Z, right? Xavier.
Xylophone.
Right, xylophone, Xavier, that kind of stuff. Okay. Same thing for back then. For the other late letters in the alphabet, sometimes you could pronounce W with a V. So the thing is Votan. And what did it stand for?
You got me.
Wait, you're supposed to write that down.
I was, but they said it really fast.
Okay. I think
I was writing a V because I thought they said Votan, and then they spelt it, so I rewrote Votan, and then
I think it was.
By then they already went over the acronym, and I
working. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's an acronym. I forget what it's for. But much like the TARDIS, it's an acronym. Anyway, so this computer is going to be hooked up and networked to all the other big computers in the world, and it's the smartest, and it's the best, and it's going to think.
have its own conscience.
Yeah, its own consciousness. It's going to think, actually. This is 1966. This is long before Terminator, long before The Matrix, long before any of those other movies where computers take over the world. And Doctor Who did it first, which is really, 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 really cool. Anyway, so the computer tries to take over, and it hypnotizes people with some sort of electromagnetic ray beam. Yeah, and they hypnotize, and then
it's like auditory because they do it through the phones.
Yeah, they can do it through the phone. Yeah. But the Doctor resists.
Mm-hmm. And big brain.
Yeah, well, he's a
Big
Time
powerful.
Lord, and the thing's used to humans. And Votan actually calls him Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Why does he do that?
he's
Why does he call him
referred to as the Doctor,
The Doctor.
by a few times,
Mhm.
but he's also referred to by Votan specifically as Doctor Who.
Why is that?
Maybe because the computer didn't have a proper name for him, so it just called him Doctor Who as a reference.
So how did the computer know what the TARDIS was?
No clue unless
People-
it read the Doctor's mind.
Oh.
It may have read the Doctor's mind, or it may have surmised it from, best guess. Yeah. Mm.
So does the Doctor have a name?
Yes.
Do we ever get to learn that name?
Okay. Oddly enough, my main
Say
doctor.
my name.
Okay.
It's like you ever watch Neverending Story?
Yeah.
And it talks about his mom's name, and then at the end, spoiler, the princess needs a name, and she's like, "Say my name," and then right when he goes to say it, there's a big lightning thunder strike, and then
And
you never get to hear it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Neverending
what was
Story's
the
a good
name?
movie. The
Second
second,
one sucks.
second and the
Well,
third ones both suck.
Yeah,
But the third one has Jack
they're
Black.
just cash-ins. Does it?
Yeah, the third one has Jack
Man, it's been
Black.
so long since I've seen those. But the first one was great, and the second two were just cash-ins.
Yeah. Okay. My main Doctor Who watching group on Sunday nights just finished The Key of Time. Okay?
Is that why we have a new whiteboard?
No, I'll explain that in a minute. Alright. Alright. The Key of Time right there that we've been on for 6.5 months. Next one. To your left. Yeah, there. That's The Key of Time. It's a whole season. And Tom Baker, the one scarf, right? And we just finished Key of Time. Anyway, in the 5th episode of the final serial of The Key of Time, called The Armageddon Factor, the Doctor runs into another Time Lord that he knew back in college. The
Time Lord College?
Time Lord University, yeah. And that guy refers to the Doctor as Theta Alpha.
Theta Alpha.
And sometimes PA for short. Or Phi. But Theta Alpha.
Is that the Greek alphabet?
Yeah. And you
Are
think...
Time Lords Greek?
No. But you're like, well, this must be the Doctor's name.
Mhm.
And you were allowed to assume that for decades.
But it's really just their fraternity.
It was his fraternity name. They retconned it to be his fraternity name much, much later. And we still don't know the Doctor's name. So they'll refer to him sometimes as the Doctor. In fact,
You think he was hazed when he got...
I don't know. No.
He had to chug beer. Just the Doctor with a keg.
Like, maybe. But we've got, there are serials that, there's one serial called Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Silurians.
Right, but Doctor Who.
Doctor
Even though he's not Doctor Who, he's the Doctor.
I'm just very confused.
I know, they occasionally refer to him as Doctor Who in the show, but it's mostly people who don't know him that say Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, even Votan in this case. And only once has the show ever officially referred to him as Doctor Who, which is the title of Doctor Who and the Silurians. But in every other instance, he's the Doctor.
I thought that Votan was referring to him as the Doctor the first time, and he's saying the Doctor who is required. The Doctor that is required. He said,
Right.
because he spoke in such broken English, but then
later
I realized he was
doing
just saying
that.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. So are we meant to believe that Hartnell was the very first Doctor? Like that he didn't have any regenerations before Hartnell?
Okay.
Like that's the one that went to college?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And for a brief period of time, no.
Oh.
But mostly yes. Okay. Throughout the vast majority of Doctor Who history, it is implied / understood / known that William Hartnell is the first Doctor. For one single serial during the Tom Baker years, they show him kind of going through his regenerations and his beings into the past, and then they show the third Doctor, and then the second Doctor, then the first Doctor, and they show a bunch of faces you don't know. And you're like, wait a minute, was this Doctor Who before the Doctor? And it heavily implies that. But it was just a bunch of guys' faces from the engineering department. Yeah, they just did that. But while it's implied in that single serial, that single episode, that the first Doctor was not the first Doctor, that has been completely ignored throughout the entire rest of Doctor Who as something the Doctor made up just to fight this machine or to fight the thing with the machine. And it has been later completely established by the number of regenerations and by other things that Hartnell was the first Doctor.
So
and he's the first entity that he's the first existence, the first being of the Doctor as a Time Lord, and then later on throughout the generations.
Born as babies and then grow up.
Okay, as far as we know in this show, yes. If you go by the books,
there are books.
There are some.
So they messed up the canon.
Okay, ignore the books.
That's what happened to Star Wars.
I know.
People get upset about them decanonizing the books to make the new trilogy.
Okay, everybody should be upset about the new trilogy.
Yeah, the new trilogy sucks. But I understand why they had to decanonize the books, because there were so many books that had covered absolutely everything. It's like, here's what happened to Luke Skywalker after the events of Star Wars. Here's what happens in the next generation and the next generation. And if they kept all those books canon, what would they make a movie about? So they wanted to
well, they should have taken the books and made movies out of those. It would have been better than the crap that they made the movies.
That's true.
Alright. Okay. So
are the books not canon?
Alright. For our purposes, the BBC has never, ever said what is strictly canon.
Except for the one time.
Except for the one thing they said was not canon, which is Scream of the Chakra, because they didn't want another Doctor in the middle between.
That would mess up the older generation.
8 and 9, right? Although eventually they did get a Doctor, the War Doctor, between 8 and 9 anyway. Alright. It's the only thing they ever said. It's the only distinction, official thing they've ever said about canonity. Alright. But in the books, Time Lords are not created by sex and birth and all that. They're created from DNA looms that loom their DNA together and create a being. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Then again, this is some far-fetched, far-flung in the future, super sci-fi race. So, I mean, whatever, DNA looms.
But there are babies that grow up.
Okay, you see that. Well, that's a big one. It's like a triple. Alright, you see that later on in Doctor Who.
How many shots have you had so far?
I don't know anymore. Alright, I've had this many shots so far. Well, once I'm done with that. Yeah.
And you're just tipsy?
Well,
I'm on my
this is only 33 proof.
6th shot.
Okay. Last night I drank some whiskey that was 116 proof.
How is that possible?
It kicked my butt. Well, what do you mean, how's that possible?
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, I got confused with
200 proof. Right, proof goes up to 200. Anyway, that kicked my butt. So tonight I'm going with the more but lighter.
Is that 116?
116. It's a good whiskey. This is also
58% alcohol?
Yeah, 58% alcohol. But it's only 33.
I didn't know they
66
made
proof,
anything over 50% alcohol.
Mm-hmm. You can get pure alcohol. It's called moonshine. It's 200 proof. You can get 200 proof alcohol. You might as well be drinking ethyl gasoline.
I had a sip of apple cider moonshine, and just the smallest sip.
You
immediately. It's so smooth. It's like water. It tasted like apple pie that I immediately just felt in my brain. I'm like, that's so tasty.
It's boom.
I took a sip. I'm like, that's so smooth and it's so good. And then my brain was like, I'm like, oh, I feel it.
Right. So anyway, so ignore the books, ignore the audio stories.
They have audio stories.
Yes.
Is that Radio Superman? Radio programming?
Okay, the radio stuff was before
VHS tape?
the Superman. No, this is This is okay. When Doctor Who went into the wilderness years, after it was canceled in
The
1989.
period of silence.
Well, the 90s basically. Okay, from the 90s to 2000, from 1990 to 2005, with the exception of the 96 TV movie, the show was off the air. So you had 6 years of nothing, the TV movie, which was the first revival, then another.
That's the one that we watched.
We'll watch it eventually. It's right.
We watched a couple of movies. Were they?
No. The TV movie. There. Okay, the Eighth Doctor.
Ah.
Okay. He's the one right there with the ascot. Yeah, him. So 96.
Nice ascot.
Yeah, nice ascot. So you had the TV movie, and there was nothing for another 9 years except the Scream of the Shakla, which is not canon.
Okay.
But during those 9 years, nothing.
Is that the animated one?
Yes. Well, it's one of the it's one of the animated Doctor Who serials, not canon. Was intended to be a revival.
Initially
Going to be a
animated.
revival, right?
Reconstructed animated.
But there's 2 other animated serials that were initially animated for the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. But were not. But they are canon. But they were not missing episodes like the old stuff.
Oh, that's because they're gonna revive it as animation, and then they.
Well, no, only Scream of the Shakla was like that.
Oh.
These were Dreamland and.
Why were they animated?
They were animated just to do something like that, different.
Huh.
Let's see. I've got them down here. The Infinite Quest and Dreamland. Okay, there's the Infinite Quest.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
And then Dreamland right there. Okay. You may not be able to see this. You will when I get a second one of these shelves and pivot this one a little bit to the left and put one to the right there.
So
I'm going to do that eventually. Right.
You open the police doors and there are 2 shelves of the.
No. I would love to have the police watch, but I'm not gonna. But no, this one's gonna move. This one's gonna move against the wall there.
Double doors, 2 shelves. Is a police dock.
And this may shift over just a little bit. This love
Move
seat.
me out of camera.
No, we'll back up the camera, whatever we need to do. But we're gonna have a second shelf here.
I kind of like the idea
so
of
much
just
of the
being
stuff
a
is way
voice
down
off
there.
camera and asking questions.
No,
Just explaining.
We Charlie Brown's teacher. No, but we're gonna have it so there's one there and then one there, so they can see going all the way down. Because it'll be like 4, and then maybe another 4 on the next one. You know. Because right now there's 7. There's a total of 3 down there, and by that time we'll have a 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell were we? What are you? Okay, so
You're
anyway.
explaining the plot.
Yeah, no. So anyway, the wilderness years
Oh yeah.
are considered from 1990 to 2004, when they were basically, except for the TV movie, where there was no Doctor Who on TV. Okay, and during that time they started doing audio stories like they used to do on the radio and stuff. And there's a bunch of those, and they're called. What are they called? Not loose cannon. That's the videos.
Books on cassette.
No. They've got a specific name for those. I can't remember it because I haven't really ever done any of them. But anyway, so the books are, for our purposes, we're not considering the books canon or the audio stuff canon. We're just considering the TV stuff canon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so back to the plot.
What if before Hartnell there was an entire set of regenerations, and maybe he doesn't remember them because after so many regenerations his memories are kind of shattered?
Okay, do not give these ideas to the current showrunner.
No?
No, he sucks and he would do something like that.
But like, does the Doctor have all his memories intact? Does he ever get like what do you call it?
Dysphoria?
No.
Dementia.
Yeah, like a regenerational dementia, loses memories. Can a person's mind contain all of those memories? Maybe he just forgot an entire
A
series.
Time Lord can.
Yeah.
When the Doctor first regenerates, he is disoriented, he is a bit out of it, and he has the ability to do things that he wouldn't normally do. especially in the 21st century stuff. Like
Special ability.
Tenet's regenerating, and he gets his arm chopped off within 12 hours or so of regenerating, and he can regrow another arm, or no, a hand, and he can regrow another hand because he still has regeneration energy.
He's just still regenerating.
This is a little different than the 20th century stuff. In the 20th century stuff, they just regenerate, and there's no remaining
Continual generating.
Effusal? What's the word? Effusal. What's the word for a remainder of something that hangs around?
Remainder?
I'll think of it later. Okay. But there's no continuous regeneration. It's just a boom, done. Anyway, so in this serial, the Doctor returns to London, 1966, meets Ben and Polly
At the Inferno Club.
Well,
That's not where he meets them.
he meets Polly.
That's when we meet him.
He meets Polly. Okay, he thinks that radio tower, that postal tower, has a lot of weird electrical energy. So he goes to it with Dodo, and this is still the first episode. Apparently, in scenes that are not shown in the episode, you get the feeling he introduces himself as the Doctor and that he's important and all that. And so he gets to go up and meet the computer, Votan, and the professor. What's his name? The professor running it? Bilks or Bliss? Or...
Well,
You didn't write this down?
no.
Okay.
I'll think of it.
Polly. Polly. Polly.
P-O?
LL, like Polly with a
L-L-Y.
cracker?
Oh. I thought it was like Polly.
No, not Polly Shore. Polly. Polly. Alright.
Polly.
Yeah,
Like Polly on a cracker?
that's what I just said. Ben and Polly. That was a lady's name or a female's name back in the day. Alright. Anyway, so he goes up and he meets the computer and he meets the professor running it.
Oh, damn.
Votan is the computer. Can't remember the name of the professor running it. But they're using punch cards to program it. If you remember those, you are as old as I or older. And I'm 50.
We're talking about the World of Warcraft Easter eggs in the No More Gathering dungeon. They have punch cards.
They are punch cards.
And they're in binary. And you can
Yep. That's what they
translate
used.
them. And they say things like, "Help! I'm stuck in a punch card factory."
But those are what they used to program computers with, these punch cards. And they
Like
were
that is their memory.
well, no, you feed it in, physically, manually, as opposed to typing anything in, and the punch cards are programmed in the computer.
No, the punch cards were just binary. So it's just
They were about this big.
yes,
They
no,
were
yes, no, yes,
yellow,
yes, no,
white, and
yes,
you
yes,
would
no.
just literally punch them with a hole puncher. And that was it back in the day. Back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s. By the time I got to college in late 80s, those things were pretty much antiques. But in a stats course in the early 90s, when I was in grad school, I had to deal with one of those.
No.
Because they still had them around. So, but it's 25 years on now. Huh?
Did you get to do a punch card?
I did. It was just weird.
Did it hypnotize you? With
No, it didn't. Nothing. But anyway,
I understand.
I understand. So Votan tries to take over the world and is deciding whether or not humans are superfluous because he thinks
Which they are.
he thinks that
If we're really
we're not superfluous. Yeah. He thinks that mankind has reached the end of how far it can go, and he wants machines to take over the world. So he hypnotizes a bunch of scientists and engineers and people, including Dodo. At first she resists it, but then it has to talk to her a second time over the phone, and it gets her. But at first she reasonably resists it. The one scientist,
with the glasses.
Kirkpatrick, what's his name?
Capaldi?
No, not
Oh, Sir.
No, not the Sir guy.
With the glasses.
A bunch of them have glasses. Anyway,
The one that resisted.
Well, yeah, he resisted. He resisted. Dodo kind of resisted, and the doctor was completely unaffected. But generally,
I wouldn't say unaffected. He almost knocked him out.
He did right, but he did
Like
not
an
succumb.
Yeah, right.
He did not succumb. So the one scientist, most of everybody was taken over pretty immediately. The one scientist held out for a good bit. He was an engineer. Dodo held out really well, although she succumbed the second time. And the doctor was the only one who was more or less immune to succumbing to
Do you
the
think
machine.
Dodo's IQ was just so low that it was hard for the machine?
No, it's shown in future Doctor Who that time traveling creates special things with the individual. It creates immunities, it creates abilities, and those things allow you to do certain things and not do certain things, and not be subject to certain things because you've traveled in time a lot.
I read about this one Roman war general who was super paranoid. He gave himself small doses of poison every day to build up his immunity to all sorts of different poisons.
That's what we're doing.
Doesn't work out too well for me.
What are you talking about? All right, here's to you. Drink up with us. If you got a drinking game going at home, drink.
So you had this super paranoid Roman war general. I forget his name. Super paranoid. He kept thinking someone's going to poison his food. So every day he'd take a little bit doses of poison to build up his immunity to all sorts of different poisons. He goes to war. He gets captured. He's a prisoner of war. He's like, I'll just commit suicide. He poisons himself.
And he can't.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. What was his name?
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Something Roman. Copernicus.
Something
Cadmus.
Roman. Okay. Copernicus. Okay.
I was reading about him on some sort of wiki page.
Alright. So Dodo goes with Polly, who is a secretary to the main professor, and they go to a nightclub called the Inferno. While they're at the Inferno, they meet Hoppin' 60s.
The hottest place in town.
Right, hottest place in London in the 60s. So while they're there, they meet Kitty and Ben. Kitty's the bartender, club owner. Okay. Ben is a sailor from the Navy.
Super bummed out.
Super bummed out because his ship went off to the West Indies.
He's been landed for 6 months.
And he's stuck in the barracks for 6 months in London. Or probably Portsmouth. Okay, it's Portsmouth. That's I think a place near London where the ships dock. But anyway, so Ben and Polly and Dodo do things.
That sounds weird when you say that.
Oh, do things.
They do things.
Anyway, but that's basically the first episode because Dodo gets a phone call and succumbs to hypnotism, goes up to the computer where the other three guys are already hypnotized, and she has to go fetch the doctor for Votan.
Yeah, she doesn't do a good job.
Right, and that's the end of the first episode. Okay, as a note, the what's his name, Sir Philip or whatever, the old stodgy British guy. Right. Great actor. He was in the ruling class. I love him.
I do say what now?
I do say
Jibby what not?
It's like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, British. Yeah, he's awesome. He's in the ruling class. The movie with Peter O'Toole.
That's on our movie list.
Yeah, it is. He plays the same character in everything I've ever seen.
Musical comedy, including this.
Well, to be fair, I've only seen him in this and the ruling class, but he plays the stiff upper lip, proper British gentleman, you know. But he's good at it. He's really good at it. But the ruling class is in color, even though the serial's in black and white.
So they had color when this was out.
Well, they've had color going back to the 30s.
It was like more expensive.
Oh yeah.
Like
later
Psycho.
on,
The horror movie Psycho. That was filmed in black and white, even though they had color.
Right, it was cheaper to
What's-his-face,
film it in
he
black and
did
white.
to save money. Also, use chocolate syrup as the blood in the showers.
Even today,
This is black and white.
black and white's cheaper.
Mm.
The movie Clerks in the 90s was filmed in black and white by Kevin Smith because it was cheaper to film it than it was in color. But it kind of adds to the atmosphere.
Were you there when The Wizard of Oz came out? Was that the first movie in color? And it starts off in black and white, and you think it's going to be a black and white movie. And my parents told me the big mind-blowing thing was once you got to Wizard of Oz, they switched to color.
Yeah, that came out in the 1930s. How old do you think I am?
I mean, but like, did you watch it?
No, it's more... Okay.
Not in theaters, but like...
No, I did see it in theaters because it was re-released every so often.
Okay.
But I was born in 68. That came out 30-something years before I was born.
I mean, but did you experience it as... Did they tell you it was going to be in color, or did you start watching and you're like, oh, it's a black and white movie, and then it switches to color and you're like, oh,
Okay,
cool.
I just assumed everything was in color until it was in black and white.
But it starts in black and white. Did they
It
trick
does,
you?
it
Did
does.
they trick you? Did you think the whole thing was going to be in black
I
and white?
don't remember. That was 40-something years ago.
Well, that was the big mind-blowing thing, because that was the first movie in color, and it starts off in black and white. And you're like, oh, it's a black and white movie. And she gets to Wizard of Oz, and then they switch to
Oz.
They get to Oz, and then it switches to color, and you're like, oh, cool.
I'm not sure if it was the first movie in color. It was in Technicolor, and back then that meant painting every single cell of the film. Yeah, very, very painstakingly difficult. But anyway, so these days, it's like these days. We assume everything's gonna be in color unless we see it in black and white, and we're going, oh, okay, sure, whatever.
What's that one movie that's in black and white? Sin City. You watched that?
Most of it. I couldn't finish it. I did not like it.
The whole movie is in black and white, except for like key, like blood.
A tie,
Red
a ball,
tie,
whatever, yeah.
It's really cool.
I did
how they
not
did
like that movie.
It's really cool.
Shannon and I watched it, and we turned it off 3/4 of the way through because we just couldn't stand it anymore.
There are three different stories, and like one or two of the stories is better than the other story.
Yeah, it's mostly bad.
I liked it.
You
Except
I
like
didn't
the
like
third
it.
story, I didn't like so much.
Never saw the last third. Never saw the second movie.
I think I like the first two stories.
Well, then
But it's like
they
three
still
different
sucked.
perspectives of people. Okay.
To me, anyway. All right. Anyway.
You didn't think it was cool though? I was in black and white.
Well, no, I've seen a lot of movies in black and white. And Duran Duran had a video in black and white with little bits in color back in the day. You know.
All right.
So,
I don't know if a movie's ever done that,
Alright.
except for Sin City.
So in episode 2.
I heard they were gonna make a Sin City 2. Episode 2.
Wait. Have you not seen Schindler's List? Schindler's
The
List.
Nazi movie.
Well, about a guy who helped save Jews from the Nazis.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Schindler. Anyway, it was all in black and white till the very end.
Really?
And the very end, it shows all the people he saved going to his grave, and it's just. And that goes to color, and it's bloody fantastic. Seriously, it's just tear jerking.
Maybe I haven't seen it.
I
I know
need
I've
to
heard
see
about it.
Put that on the list.
Put it on the list.
Schindler's List. How have you not seen Schindler's List?
I probably because I've heard so much about it.
Oh my gosh,
I just assumed.
it's a fantastic movie.
All right.
Liam Neeson's best
I read
performance.
Liam Neeson, I like him.
Yeah, I would say it's Liam Neeson's best performance.
Better than Qui-Gon Jinn. That's a joke.
Yes, better than Qui-Gon Bloody Jinn. Jinn because he was drunk all the time.
Yeah. I thought he was great in Les Mis.
Les Miserables.
Les Mis.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
The Miserable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means. Yes. He
Liam
was
Neeson.
good in that movie, but he's much better in Schindler's List.
That movie was good, and then they made a terrible musical one. It's just awful.
Oh
They
my
sing
gosh.
song every bit of dialogue in it,
Yeah.
even though it's not like lyrics to a song per
the
se.
musical one with Wolverine.
Does it have that?
It has Wolverine in it. The musical version.
Yes. And it has what's his face from The Nice Guys. kind of big set.
The Nice Guys?
You ever see the Nice Guys? Super good movie. It has Ryan Gosling in it, and then that other guy.
Okay.
Here's the...
Write down Schindler's List.
Yeah.
One bloody Best Picture. It was so good.
What time did that come out?
What year? 96, maybe? Oh my gosh. I'd have to double check the internet. But it was about that time.
You were saying something about episode 2?
Okay. Did you have any more questions about episode 1?
Yes.
Questions, comments?
So why does the Doctor have a sixth sense about electrical, magnetic stuff? He gets to London, he looks at the building, he's like, something about that building, energy, reminds me of the Daleks. Why is he able to do that?
Okay, first of all, he has a lot of, I wouldn't say extrasensory perception, ESP, but a lot of... But he's infinitely more connected with the world around us than we are, because he does have extra perception, you know? And he
He'd
felt...
be a great D&D character.
Correct. He felt that probably the
all
static...
the 20s on the perception checks.
Okay, plus 10, yeah.
We get to London and we have no idea what's going on. He's like, Daleks!
But no. I think he has so much experience and knowledge and history that he feels the electromagnetic waves emanating from that building towards other people. And so he feels a bit of... it feels a bit of, questionable activity coming from there as a result.
I heard scientists were experimenting. They're embedding like tiny magnets into people's fingertips, and they're like nerves, and it gave them like an extra sense because the magnets you'd be able to feel the pull from metal and stuff. So it's very much the same way you like feel hot and cold and heat. When they get near metal, it'd feel like a magnetic.
I can see that.
Weird. I don't know why they would do that, but that's something they do.
Well, for science purposes, of course, like Stranger Things or something.
Do you think we'll ever engineer extra senses we can
it's going to happen
bioengineer
eventually.
people with?
It's going to happen eventually.
Like night vision? They're going to put stuff in your eye.
In your retina, yeah. I don't know. No, seriously. Cyberpunk stuff will come to fruition. Cyberpunk.
What's the difference between... What's the difference between cyborgs and cyberpunk?
Right.
Cyberpunk's very like Victorian-esque steam engines and like...
No, it's not steampunk. Cyberpunk is future... Right.
Right.
The Victorian era stuff is called steampunk. It's based off of cyberpunk, but it's in the past utilizing only the technology of steam. Cyberpunk is in the future, and it utilizes future technologies, like Johnny Mnemonic is very cyberpunk.
I can't think of that
Johnny
movie.
Mnemonic?
No. What's the one with...
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner,
Incredibly cyberpunk, right. Incredibly cyberpunk. Very futuristic, very technological.
The second one they came out with?
Yeah, I've got it on 4K along with the original. And I will watch it.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I've seen both of them.
Do you like it?
Yes, and I will watch the second one again as soon as I get a 4K TV. I've got a regular TV.
Oh, so you have the DVD, but not the...
No, I've got the 4K. And I will watch it again as soon as I have a 4K TV, because I got the player and the disc, but not the TV.
I haven't seen either of them. I've seen like half of
Write down Blade Runner on the playlist. Wow.
We'll have a marathon. We'll watch both back to back. I've seen like half of the first one. I haven't watched it all the way through completely. But I never went to see the second one because they said if you enjoyed the first one, you like the second one. People that didn't like the first one won't like the second one. And I thought to myself, well, I should really sit down and watch the first one all the way through before I go see the second one.
I've gotten both. Okay, the first one is nigh a masterpiece. The second one is not quite a masterpiece. But it is just really good and absolutely gorgeous. Not quite as good as the first one because it's building off of someone else's, it's building off of a previous vision. But it's still really good.
What year did
the first one
come out?
80? 1980, I think.
And then this other one came out 2018, 17?
15, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That long?
Well,
Man,
that long. It was sometime this bloody century. Late this bloody century. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so any other questions on the first episode?
Other
We're
than
still in the
there's
bloody first
Sixth
episode.
Sense and we talked about Wotan's reading brains and stuff. Nope, I think that's it for the first episode.
Alright, second episode. Oh, and okay, we gotta mention they use a 1960s font and number font.
Very unique intro. Yeah.
Very unique intro.
Very
For all the episodes.
sci-fi. Drum
Correct.
roll, a lot of suspense.
Right. The same font they used in the original Rollerball for the different numbers and everything. Really, 60s/70s sci-fi font. Loved it. Wish they'd do that more.
We talking about
Theremin. That's the name of that instrument. The theremin. Yeah, the theremin. Remember I said seraphim earlier? I said it's not right. I'll think of it later. Now's the later. Theremin.
They use that in all the sci-fi.
Well, Star Trek and Doctor Who. And the Beach Boys used it. It's a great effect, actually, oddly enough. Alright, episode 2.
Episode 2. What was the budget like for this? Was it lower? It seemed like it had a lower budget for this.
Well, at least they were using London,
Yeah, they were, but I don't know. I feel like they took this serial very seriously. They put a whole lot of impact on it. And it's, different intro. You had the drum roll and the text and went the war machines and drum roll.
Masha needs
Yeah.
machines.
Machiness. But they just try to stick a whole lot of impact on it, make it really serious. And I don't think it really paid off. It came across as very campy.
Well, I mean, for the 60s it was normal. Now it's campy.
But earlier serials, I didn't feel that way at all. I really, I got into the suspense, and it was suspenseful, and I feel like it had a higher budget. Like, was that 13 episode one?
But the 12 episode,
The
Dalek Smash.
The Dalek Smash Your Plan. Those had sets, and they had, they put a lot of effort into it. And for this, I feel like the whole budget was just, they made one machine, and they took 3 and put a 9 on it, took the 9 off.
Okay,
I don't know, it didn't have the impact that I think is...
So there's a war machine that shows up, but it's got big arms that smash things.
But it's so
a couple
slow,
of Daleks
and it's
shooting
short
things.
arms.
Yeah.
It's just really unimpactful when they try to make it
Correct.
impactful.
But at some points it has a 9 on it, other points it has a 3 on it, and it's just like number 9 and number 3.
I feel like they forgot to switch them out.
Yeah, they didn't switch them out properly, right? Between the second and third episodes, it's like number 9 is attacking, and then it's number 3 that's attacking.
Is that because did they do reshoots or something? Or?
No bloody clue. Anyway. But
like
so the numbers got mixed up, I think, a few times. Who cares? Overlook it.
I care.
It's 1960s TV. How much of a standard are you going to hold 1960s TV to?
I just thought the other serials pulled things off so much better than this one.
Well, in some ways, but they did build this really cool machine. They did have all the army soldiers, and they did film
That was
actually.
cool.
around it.
I like the army soldiers.
Yeah,
Even though we got
literally
obliterated.
Yeah, they literally call out the army later on. But I mean, it's just what happens in these things. It's
So the war machines, I feel like they're very much inspired by the Daleks' design, because you had the Daleks, and at first they had their phasers, and the way they edited it, they switched back and forth between like a negative image and a positive image. So they switched for their phasers,
yeah.
and then later on they just switch it to like a fire extinguisher, and like maybe the movie
for some
they
things,
switch it out. So the Daleks used to have their phasers, and you go from negative to positive in the film reel. Now it's just a fire extinguisher. That's what they did for the war machines. They just shot fire extinguishers and it jammed
for
guns.
certain parts, and they had the smashy bits.
They're really slow arms. really quite touch me.
Apparently, the war machines were all controlled by Voton, as opposed to Daleks, who are independent entities. Yeah,
but they look similar.
Yeah,
but weaponry.
In the second episode, the hypnotized bad guys start building one of the war machines. Voton tries to get the doctor into his domain and is unsuccessful via Dodo. Never rely on Dodo. Never rely on Dodo. And then Dodo is she's hypnotized by Voton. The doctor kind of unhypnotizes her, and then she's sent off into the country to rest for 48 or 72 hours, and she's gone. That's it. No more Dodo. Yay! We are done with Dodo.
Goodbye.
Yay! Goodbye, Dodo.
Jackie Lane.
Goodbye. Look at this. Alright, and then it's just Ben and Polly.
Yep.
For the third and fourth episodes. And then them from there on, you know?
So, the doctor never met Polly until she showed up at the TARDIS?
No. The doctor met Polly in the professor's office, which is where the Voton
is the secretary. Was. That's in the very first
was the secretary.
Okay, I forgot
Then
that.
she becomes... Then he sees her when she becomes Sir Paul's or whatever, Sir Patrick's secretary. And then she's hypnotized, yada yada.
He really doesn't care about her too much. Because Ben the whole time's like, we have to save her, we have to rescue her. And the doctor's like, no time, forget about her.
Well, they gotta save London. London's more important than one individual. It's a city of millions. I mean...
Is this the first time we have companions who are like actively in love or something? Because I feel like Ben deeply cared for Polly throughout the...
Ben is at least infatuated with Polly because they meet in the bar and he is infatuated with her, smitten with her. The closest other we would have would be the first two. What are their names?
Give me a second.
Ian and what? Barbara. Yeah, Ian and Barbara.
They later on.
Okay, but it's.
But these are young lovers.
Yeah, Ian and Barbara have a relationship that's professional, but you kind of get the feeling they could get together, but it's never ever really done.
But they end up being married later on with it.
Kind of.
The doctor goes back and she has his last name on the college.
Yes. But that was later.
Which is nice.
It's very nice. At the time, no such
love. So they did get married.
So they don't really have...
I mean, how could you not get married after being through what they went through?
And Ben is kind of infatuated with Polly, but it's still not really explored in the TARDIS. Because it's a kid's show.
That was my question.
Don't need romance or anything else. It's a kid's show.
I thought they were going to be a thing.
Not really. It's a 1960s kids show. Death is okay, love not so much.
That's very much the opposite now. In Europe, their television is very sexual, but they censor all violence. Then here we censor all sexuality. Was it not the case back then? Because there's a lot of violence and stuff.
Conservative
I was keeping track of the death counts, but I lost count because the war machine killed like 20 soldiers or something.
Oh yeah, a lot of death in this serial. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I chalked it up to plenty.
Plenty. Oh, yeah.
There was a number.
What are the questions you have for episode 2?
Episode 2. The doctor's a hypnotist, apparently.
Oh,
that's another one of his skills. He watched the ring.
The doctor and later on the master. Apparently Time Lord's a great hypnotist.
So he does it again ever? Does he ever?
He does. And he even kind of mind melds with people like, Spock.
Does he use a Vulcan pinch on people?
The third doctor does, kind of, actually, but yeah.
So, Time Lords are Vulcans?
No.
Statistically.
No, but, they some Time Lords have those abilities. Like,
do you think
we could do that?
Do you think Hartnell's mom was a Time Lord and his dad was a Vulcan?
What the hell?
Like a Vulcan Time Lord baby? mind melds and Vulcan pinches.
Chibnall, ignore all these ideas. No. What the hell are you talking?
Just how cool would a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover be? It's the same universe.
No.
Yes.
God, no. No.
That'd be
No.
You know?
No.
Doctor's TARDIS ends up on the Enterprise.
I think there's a parody of that online.
Is there?
Yeah, I think there is.
Is it a porn parody? Or?
No. I don't know about the porn parody, but no.
Porn parody.
Porn. No. The porn parody is Dr. Who as opposed to Doctor Who. It's actually kind of good because they don't quite get the men right, but they really get the women right, and it's kind of interesting.
Well, there you go. They do things.
Don't look this up if you're under 18. Yeah.
Does it have the sonic screwdriver?
Don't ask. Seriously, don't ask that question. All right.
Episode
Any
3.
more question? Okay, episode 3.
Yeah, we talked about the machine calling the doctor.
So Dodo's sloughed off. We get to episode 3. It's Ben and Polly and the doctor. Polly's hypnotized by Votan. Ben's trying to rescue her. Ben gets captured by...
But not brainwashed.
Right.
Which
captured
is a huge
but not
oversight.
brainwashed. Right.
They just decide to trust him.
Exactly. No. They decided to let him live to be labor.
Yeah. And they assume he's just going to do that while they not guard the doors.
And they do, and he does to an extent, and then he escapes because they're not guarding the bloody doors.
Who Polly was responsible for their prisoner worker.
Yeah, Polly was.
Later sent her back to Votan to be
judged.
Even though they have no problem just absolutely executing other people to test them.
Okay. Gotta save the future companions, you know? Right. I'm gonna go use your restroom.
They're like, you stand there. Okay, that gun works.
I'm gonna go use your restroom. You keep talking.
What am I gonna talk about?
Well, you talk about episode 3.
Knowledge.
Episode 3. You got 3 and 4. What do you mean?
3 and 4? So I'll do the plot summary.
Okay, you keep going.
What if I have to go to the bathroom?
Wait,
what if we just
you
let
go
them
when I
sit
get
here
back.
for like 2 minutes?
You go when I get back.
They'll be fine. They'll just sit by themselves in front of the computer for like 2 minutes, right? You can trust you guys. Okay, episode 3. So anyway, Polly is responsible for her prisoner Ben because Polly's brainwashed. So Ben's captured after he stumbles into the warehouse where they're building the war machines. They don't brainwash him. They're like, okay, we'll spare you to work. So of course he's working until they don't guard the door anymore, and then he's out of there. He tries to take Polly with him. No, she's still brainwashed. She's working. He runs back to, the doctor and Sir What's-His-Face to warn them about the war machines. Polly, in the meantime, is questioned by the other brainwashed people. They're like, Polly, where's Ben? This guy you said that was going to work, so we shouldn't kill him. She's like, oh yeah, he escaped. They're like, he escaped? Why didn't you warn us? She's like, no, because I watched him escape. So it kind of set the fact that she's like half brainwashed. She still cares about Ben. She's like fighting the brainwash, but she's still, under control and working like a machine to get these war machines up and running. They're like, well, you must be punished. We'll send you to Wotan to be judged, even though they were just shooting people left and right to test the functionality of weapons. They decide not to execute Polly. She's sent back to Wotan for judgment. Meanwhile, Ben is in the office with the doctor. He warns about the machines. The doctor does his, haphazardly, I must find a solution that I'm very vague about. Yes, quite troubling. I will do my thing. And then Sir What's-His-Face is like, I'm going to call the police. And the doctor, for whatever reason, is like, not necessary. Don't bother. I got this figured out. But Sir What's-His-Face is like, no, I'm definitely going to call the police. So he phones the police. They're like, a war machine. He's like a sort of tank type thing. Ben said there's like 20 people. And the chief of police on the other line was like, well, let's send the army. He's like, oh, if you think that's necessary, okay. So just tons of military men show up. They surround the warehouse. They storm the warehouse. The War Machine shoots his fire extinguishers at all the soldiers. They end up jamming the guns and keeping grenades from exploding. So the War Machine just totally neutralizes all their weapons. There's a lot of fog from the extinguisher guns. And then you have soldiers fighting, just beating up on these poor brainwashed people. Also, can we talk about so many innocent people dying? Soldiers
it's a children's show.
Soldiers died, who are the good guys. Also, the innocent brainwashed people died. Plenty of them.
Yeah.
So just good guys died.
There's at least about a dozen people who died.
Because of this machine.
Do you need to use the restroom?
I'm gonna
go. You go.
You finish the plot explanation.
Wait, you did episode 3, right?
Yeah, I was just talking about the army storming the warehouse.
Okay, well that's episode 3. Yeah. You pick up from there. I'll go to episode 4. Alright. You okay? Alright, good. Alright, for those of you drinking at home, if anybody's drinking at home, I hope you are. Because it's fun. Take a drink with me. This will be a bonus drink in your drinking program. I have no idea what the drinking game might be for this. But salud. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, episode 3. The good guys fight the bad guys in the warehouse. A bunch of both of them die. Eventually the War Machine gets out. The Doctor stares it down at the end of episode 3. And beginning of episode 4. It stops because it was not programmed fully. And then the Doctor states as such in episode 4. And let's see. And it's his notes. Anyway, and the Doctor explains there are these machines around, and so they try in episode 4 to capture one. But they have to capture it using electromagnetic coils in a square, like a big boxing ring, an electromagnetic field. So they have to get it to go into a certain area where there's 3 sides covered, and then they cover the 4th side after it goes in there. And when it does, that was quick. And when it does, the Doctor captures this War Machine in the electromagnetic field. Okay, you need more drink.
Bungee cables.
Look at bungee cables, but you need more drink. Alright, anyway, so they capture this War Machine in the electromagnetic field. And it's funny because the War Machine, I think they only had one.
I'm out of tea. Can I steal a Coke?
Yeah, sure.
Do you need anything while I'm up?
I am so good, thank you, appreciate it. What the Okay, so anyway, I think they only had one War Machine that was going boom, 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 and with the gas smoke spurts. But they kept moving, changing the numbers on it between 3 and 9. Apparently, we only see 2, number 3 and number 9. And they switched between 3 and 9 between the second and third episode because it's kind of funny. I don't think they got all the numbers right. But in the 4th episode, after the Doctor after they defeat number 9 earlier, or 3. Then they end up with the 1 in the electromagnetic field. The Doctor reprograms it with punch cards to go attack Votan. And it heads back to Votan. It attacks Votan. And they defeat Votan. And all the other War Machines are neutralized. A couple of people at Votan headquarters die. Ben saves Polly, gets her out of there. The kind of junior guy, Chapek, Chibnall, whatever his name is, he dies. But the main guy lives. And the Doctor, once again saves the day. And at the end of it all, the Doctor is about to leave. He's waiting on Dodo, but Dodo's gone. She sends her love via Polly. And she says she wants to stay in London, even though she's in another country.
The Doctor's right miffed about it. He's like,
yeah, he's kind
all the gratitude.
Yeah, he's kind of mad.
I take her I take her through
So is it
time,
vodka and
space.
Coke?
Can you put vodka in Coke? I've heard of
Rum
and Coke,
Yeah.
Jack and Coke. I've never ordered a vodka Coke.
Well, we'll find out now. Is that one
Can we
shot
talk
or
about
two?
how perfectly I had to sip that? This glass is like exactly 20 ounces.
Right, is that one shot or two?
perfectly, just one.
Just one? Okay, you are going light tonight. It's okay, I'm going light with my fireball. Anyway, so the doctor leaves. As he's about to leave, Ben and Polly realize they have a key of his, and then he give it back to him.
Because did you talk about how the doctor was working on the machine reprogramming it?
And
It's hot, and he takes his cloak off, hands it to Ben. Key falls out of his cloak.
I did not mention that.
That's why Ben has the key to the TARDIS.
So Ben, he has a key to the TARDIS, and he has the doctor's cloak, and they realize they're going to get a key back to the doctor. They use it to open up the TARDIS, and they go in, and the doctor then, transports elsewhere, but he's got Ben and Polly in the TARDIS, and they become the new companions.
Can we talk about Dodo's goodbye?
Yeah.
She's recovering from her brainwash. She slept for 48 hours.
No, she will sleep for 48 hours.
She's at the country club.
Not country club.
Country. she sends word to the doctor. Best regards.
Love you.
Staying here in
Bye.
London. Thanks. Goodbye. And the doctor's upset. He's like, no gratitude. No gratitude. She's not coming with me. Can you blame her after she's put in mortal peril several times? I would also be like, I'm back home. There's no guarantee you're ever getting me back home.
I understand what
I'm
she did.
I would do the same thing. I'd be like, bye.
And there are several other companions who do the same exact thing. Much like Barbara and Ian went to their original time, their original place.
There's some credence to the fact that Ian and Barbara were taken against their will accidentally.
Well,
and they wanted the whole time to go back to London.
As opposed to Dodo, who ran into the TARDIS said,
yes,
I'm an orphan, I'll go with you, yay!
No one loves me in London, I'll go with you.
No one loves her, period. She's one of the worst companions
But
ever.
she had a great adventure, made it back to London, decided to stay. She has a long, happy life. And is not
I'll agree with most
jettisoned out into space like some of the companions.
The vast majority of companions live.
That's good.
Live. Vast majority. Not all of them die.
Speaking of the doctor putting people in mortal peril, that's like cool. It's been a long time since I've had a Coke.
What are your questions?
Speaking of the doctor putting people in mortal peril, gosh, what was it? Oh, he reprograms the robot to destroy Votan. He knows there are the doctors in there, the scientists that have been brainwashed. They're innocent people. Still programs the robot to destroy Votan, kills the innocent doctor in the process. That one guy that's trying to, he's brainwashed, the engineer, he's trying to stop the machine kills that.
Okay,
the doctor
but he's saving millions of people in London. I mean, one guy, millions.
He kind of like put a.
He doesn't even know he was going to do that.
He could have programmed something in there. Don't hurt humans.
No. He did not know that was going to do. That's the way it was.
That's rule number one of AI is do no harm.
Gibbs rules. Are we in NCIS now?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're programming machines.
Okay.
Doctor's murdering all sorts of people.
No, he's not murdering anybody. He only
for
kills when he has to. No, seriously. We've got to stop this thing before it kills millions, if not billions.
That's true.
And this one guy stands in the way of the machine. They'll kill him. One versus billions. What do you want to do?
That's true.
Okay.
It was innocent.
What were your questions or notes about episode 4? Because you don't have any for 3.
3 was just a lot of action scenes of army people fighting, brainwashed people fighting. There's a whole lot of. I feel like they shot one scene of the machine shooting its fire extinguishers, and they just kept cutting it back into the. Everyone's freaking out.
That's a BBC for you.
Not a whole lot of questions about episode 3.
Yeah.
Lots of action. Very campy and cheesy.
That's the 60s.
Episode 4.
You gotta let the 60s be the 60s.
Episode 4 had a very distinguished looking newscaster.
Oh yeah, I told you remember the newscaster. Okay, in modern Doctor Who, the current revival, 21st century Doctor Who.
Did I put vodka in this?
You said you did. I have no idea. I wasn't there at the time.
I think I might have forgot to put alcohol in it.
Well, Go over and put some bloody alcohol in it. What? Put alcohol in that. Okay.
Yeah, did you bring the fire? Put a shot of Fireball in there.
I will put a shot of Fireball in there. In the
Whiskey Coke.
Okay, I have no idea how that's going to be, especially if you've already put vodka in it. I have no idea how that's
I don't think I did. I think it was shot. That's fine.
I have no idea how that's going to taste, okay? It might be good, it might be horrible. I don't know.
Coke's a really strong flavor. I feel like it's going to mask most things. What were we talking about?
Okay, okay.
Cinnamon Coke.
Okay, so
I feel like we're onto something here.
Okay.
Fireball and Coke.
So 21st century Doctor Who uses the news media a lot. They'll have scenes of all the media, CNN.
You ever chew that like cinnamon gum? It doesn't taste like that. No. It's like cinnamon Coke. I'm gonna drink this around Christmas time. It's good. It's good.
It's okay.
I'm wrong with something.
Alright. So the new 21st century Doctor Who uses the media very well. You know, CNN, MSNBC, all that crap, and they use that, and it's all these talking heads on the news. This, I think, is the first time we ever encounter it in classic Doctor Who, 20th century Doctor Who. Encounter.
How are you feeling? You slurring?
I'm good. Yes. What do you
okay?
ask? I am good. I'm drunk. Anyway, this is the first time we encounter a like a talking head on the news telling people what's going on.
It smells like cinnamon too. It's a good drink.
Okay, and it happens.
Maybe I'm just saying that because
it's good. I
don't know if I'd like it if I was sober.
You wouldn't. There's a lot of things you like when you're drunk that you don't like.
I got super drunk. I like Smirnoff. Those like apple ales they do. Very little alcohol. The apple ale is great. And then I tried. I got real drunk and I was drinking the original flavor Smirnoff soda, like sparkling cider.
No flavor.
Yeah, I was just chugging. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. It tastes so good. Later, I sobered up. Like maybe a month later, I'm buying Smirnoff.
Took you a month to sober up.
Just a month later, I remembered. Oh, Smirnoff, the original, ice flavor just tastes really good. I remember drinking that at that party. So I buy it, I take it home. I'm sober, I try drinking, I'm like, this is awful.
Exactly. When you're drunk, things are okay that you're not when you're sober.
Like women.
Yes, some, yeah. Okay, what are the questions you have for episode 4?
Other than the newscaster?
Yeah.
Oh, does the Doctor ever not have a companion?
Okay, yes. For one single serial, the Doctor does not have a companion.
He's not very good at being alone.
Correct, exactly. Doctor has a companion throughout his entire history, except the Deadly Assassin.
So even the War Doctor has a companion?
No, not shown, but he does have his own episodes.
He's just in like a movie or something?
I'll explain later. So, this is the only serial of all of Doctor Who, the Deadly Assassin. It's the only one where he does not have a companion. In all the entirety of Doctor Who, he has at least one, if not multiple companions.
So this is the only serial that he doesn't put someone else in mortal danger. He doesn't take someone else's life into his.
Yeah, but those people volunteer for the job,
Not Barbara and Eden.
Well, no, generally speaking, they volunteer for the job, but no, seriously, that's the only serial in the entirety of Doctor Who where the Doctor does not have a companion.
Is there a reason he doesn't have a companion? Is it just
Tom
in between
Baker
a
said,
transition?
No, Tom Baker said, I can do this, I don't need a companion. And the director the directors listened to him and let him do a serial without a companion.
Huh. They didn't like it.
Apparently not. But the next serial he had a companion. The previous serial he had a companion. It's the only one where he didn't have a companion.
So just the actor was like, I want a solo serial.
Right. I don't need a companion. I can do it myself. But they realized a companion was good to bounce questions and problems and ideas off of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We see things mostly through the eyes of the companion, you know? Yeah.
They're more relatable than the Doctor.
Oh, yeah. Alright, what are the questions?
The whiteboard. New whiteboard.
Okay. So we're finishing up with the first Doctor pretty soon. There's only 2 more serials.
2 more serials.
This is the end of season 3, and Hartnell goes in 2 serials into season 4. Anyway, so I figured we would rate the serials from the first 3 seasons in the 4th season.
Oh, we're rating things?
Well, yeah. Okay, these are all the season 1 serials.
Okay.
So we would give them a rating, you know, what's the best, what's the worst, within season 1. And then we'll do it for season 2 next week, and season 3/4, because he barely goes into season 4.
So I have to flip back to my illegible notes.
Well, all the notes are, okay, here. Okay, hold this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay. What do you think's the best and what do you think's the worst of season 1, 1963 to 1964? And I think we should be doing this as we go along. We'll probably do this in the future, but I'm bringing it up now because we're approaching the end of the very first Doctor.
It's hard for me to remember Edge of Destruction. I think
Unearthly Child is the one at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it was cool, and except they had that bit with they had 3 episodes with the cavemen.
Yeah.
The Daleks, 7 episodes of the Daleks, good. Edge Destruction, 2 episodes. Well, they didn't know if the show was going to be canceled, and so they did.
Was that a reconstruction?
They did it in the TARDIS. No, it was not a reconstruction. Marco Polo, 7 awesome episodes, but they are reconstructions because that's been wiped. Keys of Marinus, where he goes around looking for the keys of Marinus, yeah.
There's the plant zombies.
Right.
Cold.
They exist. The Aztecs, it exists. The only one that's reconstruction is Marco Polo.
Mm-hmm.
The Aztecs, where the Doctor Falls kind of has the hots for that older lady in the Aztecs, yeah. And Barbara gets mistaken for the goddess, and Ian has to defend her. The Censorites, where
Taxa.
Tax is the Aztecs.
The goddess that Barbara.
Right. The Censorites is where what's her name?
They burn the lock out of the
Right, his granddaughter though. What's his name of his granddaughter?
The Doctor's granddaughter?
Yeah, the Doctor's granddaughter. She has extrasensory perception abilities. And they're aliens, and they're friendly, but there's some that are not so friendly. But she connects with them. Okay, I'm drunk, so I don't remember the name of the Doctor's granddaughter. Don't tell me you don't have it in your notes. Okay.
I just have to find it.
Ian, Barbara, Vicky?
That sounds right.
Susan.
So
yeah, Susan has the ESP thing.
Yeah.
And the Reign of Terror, which was
French.
The French Revolution. That was successful. Okay, what is your best or least favorite of these episodes?
I feel like my vote for the least favorite serial would be the Censorites, solely because they're my least favorite antagonists, because they don't make sense in the canon. Just the abilities they have. It's kind of cool how Susan might have like Time Lord powers, ESP and stuff.
Right.
But that's probably the coolest part of that whole serial.
Okay, and I will agree with you, except I will call out the Edge of Destruction.
The 2 episodes. That's the shortest.
Right. So let's erase the Edge of Destruction and the Censorites. Alright, there you go. Well, most of it. Alright.
Deep Space Nine.
Is it Deep Throat 9? Anyway.
Oh, that's the one we watched with the Edge of structure because that was only 2 episodes. Then we watched the pilot.
The original pilot. Yeah. Okay, so out of these, what did you like most?
That's a tough one.
Or we can eliminate the bottom end.
I really like Unearthly Child because that's the introduction that starts everything off. That introduces his things.
Okay.
Daleks is really cool because that introduces the
Daleks. Yeah.
Daleks.
Although
the main.
the first episode's awesome.
Except the
other 3
caveman.
episodes are weak with the caveman. Yeah. We love the Daleks. What else?
Marco Polo's cool. It's reconstructed, so it makes it a little rough watching it. But I really like the sets and the costume design and everything.
And I wish it existed. Yeah.
Kia Marinus was a lot of fun. They really did a lot of scene transitions. They went to like jungleless areas and winter areas. The Aztecs is cool because you get to see Ian be a total boss and beat up people.
And you see the Doctor kind of be infatuated with it.
He actually has feelings.
Right, she might be 55, but he likes her.
And then the Reign of Terror is cool because lots of people died. So I think my least favorite would probably have to be
Unearthly Child.
An Unearthly Child, just because
that's rough.
The
first episode's great. The other 3 are not so much.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that'd be my least.
I'll go with
my next least favorite.
I'll go with you on that. Okay. And of those, Reign of Terror.
Reign of Terror, you didn't like that?
Reign of Terror. Alright, Reign of Terror is good, but not as good as these others. Aztecs is good for the Doctor.
I really like their attention to the history. How the one guy went in to shoot himself, and he accidentally shot his jaw off. They don't explain that because it's a children's show, I assume. But he comes out and he's bandaged up, and they lead him away. You just see him in the room, and he has the gun, and then it cuts away, and you hear the gunshot, and then they go in, and they take him out. He has the bandage, and he doesn't say anything. They just walk him off. So it doesn't explain that he accidentally shot his jaw off. But that's what happened.
Children's show, yeah.
I like that. That's what happened in real life, so they don't explain it, but they act it out. But yeah, is
okay. Continue.
I think Marco Polo might be the next weakest, just because of the reconstruction. If it wasn't reconstructed, it'd be so good.
I know it's gut wrenching because it was reconstructed, but oh my gosh! I mean, originally that would have been so beautiful. Okay, the best of these to me has to be the Daleks.
I think I'd have to agree.
Daleks
are classic.
Marco Polo, but only because
suspense.
it's reconstructed. If it existed, it would be better.
Sci-fi classic.
I cannot wait till they animate this. I really cannot. They need to do it soon. All right. What about the Keys of Marinus and the Aztecs?
I like the Keys of Marinus, but I think it's second to the Aztecs, just because there's a whole lot of plot and it gets real confusing. It's not really as well a told story as the Aztecs. The Aztecs really engaging, just because the action you get to see. There's a lot of character development in the Aztecs, more so than the Keys of Marinus.
Yeah, Barbara gets to be a goddess.
Keys of Marinus is just a whole lot of exposition and traveling. It's cool, it's different, but probably weaker than the Aztecs.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Marco Polo because of reconstruction, and then the Keys of Marinus, and then the Aztecs are coming second to the Daleks. Yes. All right. Excellent. Okay, we'll do this next time
for season
2, and then the next time for season 3/4, because the Doctor has 2 whole serials into season 4 before he changes to the second Doctor. And then we'll do our best for the entire first Doctor.
Yes.
Sound good?
Sounds good. I like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
We had 8 serials for season 1. How many serials do we have for season 2? Also.
Alright, let me look. Season 2.
You give me 2
1,
responsibilities.
2, 3, 4,
Can't hold this and
5,
drink
6,
at the same
7, 8, 9. 9 serials for season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Season 3 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 for season 3. All the way up to the War Machines, which we just finished.
How are you feeling at it?
I am not feeling any pain. Yeah.
Good.
Alright, next week we have The Smugglers.
The Smugglers.
Season 4.
Is that what
serial?
serial?
Yep.
Cool. I'm excited. I don't know what it's
28.
about, but I'm excited.
And it's a reconstruction. Unfortunately, it's a reconstruction.
Oh, it is a reconstruction.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, the 10th Planet, which is not a reconstruction.
Alrighty. That's all my questions.
Okay, any other comments? Anything
Closing
else?
comments? Still coming to Twitch at some point? Streaming?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
VODs first, and
Okay.
then maybe live streaming at some point.
Oh, I don't know about live stream, but
That would be cool.
hopefully, we're doing this and I've been uploading it to YouTube. Hopefully, at some point in the not too distant future, I will upload things to Twitch.
Can you upload to Twitch? I thought as you did live streams, and then you can take VOD clips of your live streams and put those as rewatchable videos.
I have no earthly idea.
I'm not sure how Twitch works.
Right, neither do I. But if it does work, we will upload to Twitch.
Be cool.
And I will start uploading these videos maybe 1 or 2 a week until we catch up to where we actually are. And then when I upload them to YouTube, we'll upload them to Twitch at that point.
Talking about Twitch, that's a great way to monetize things because you can get subscribers or like what do they call it?
Patreons?
You get followers. Yeah, well, Patreon's a different thing. Patreon's what people are using to monetize their YouTube channels now because YouTube has done drastic cuts in the monetization of their.
But we're not
Content
looking
creators.
to make money off this.
Future.
The only thing, if we do get big, we will do is we will use the money to pay for the alcohol. Hey, bloody man, to pay for the alcohol.
And the DVDs.
No, I've got all the DVDs. We'll just use it to
the
pay for the
DVDs.
alcohol. Also, I have Peter Davison's complete season 1,
And Blu-ray.
which is season 19 for classic Doctor Who. I don't know why they're calling him Davison season 1 or whatever. But anyway, so we shall now put this into the shelf with the rest of them. And I think the next one's coming out in October, so it's 3 months hence. We're in July, August, September, October. So 3 months hence, this one will go in.
So are you getting all the Blu-ray seasons?
I will.
'Cause that will,
I will
like-
get everything because I want them to animate all the missing stuff.
And that will.
This helps pay for it.
Those are small. That's going to compact the volume of all the.
To an extent, yeah. Alright, hold on. Alright, right here. Right here we go. Davison season 1.
There you go. And then those are his season.
I have everything. It's kind of.
You do.
It's awesome.
It's
sad.
It's an amazing collection.
Thank you.
I feel like it's. I don't know if anyone has a collection.
Well, I'm sure somebody or other people have this.
I feel like we need to. You ever do Reddit?
I have.
So they have subreddits. There's
Yeah.
a Doctor Who subreddit. I want us to just upload a photo of your collection and just challenge people and see who can, has anything close to this.
It has to.
Because this
exist.
is so impressive. I'm sure there's a
Someone
handful
has
of people.
this. Someone has
A handful of people, but you're in like the 0.1% of Whovians.
Maybe. I don't know, but it does have to exist. Alright.
I'm sure someone's done it.
Well,
But
some people have done it. Yeah. Seriously, some people have done it. Alright. And this one goes back.
We're just reorganizing things.
Reorganizing. And we will be at the Smugglers
The Smugglers.
next week, hopefully.
4 episodes?
4 episodes.
4 episodes.
and then Smugglers, and then the 10th Planet, and then that would be it.
Season 3?
No, for the first Doctor. They're both 4 episodes. And then we go to the second
throat tickle
Doctor.
for like a week. This cough, it's like a tickle. Had it for like a week.
You gotta get rid of the cough.
Yeah.
Drink more vodka.
Let's do it.
Seriously, gets rid of coughs and other ailments.
Like cough syrup. I've been taking like Mucinex because it's like a. Anyway, that's gross. TMI. Any closing comments?
Alright, see you next week.
See you
Hopefully
next
for
week.
the first serial of the 4th season of Doctor Who, The Smugglers. And until then,
I feel like we need a theme song.
salute. A theme song? Wait, we could do the Doctor and the TARDIS by the Time Lords.
Is that like the TV show intro?
No, it's a group called the KLF. They changed the name to Time Lords for one single release, which was Doctor and the TARDIS. And it's pretty fun.
That can be our outro song.
Could, I guess. I don't know if we need to get rights, but it's funny. It's fun.
That would be funny.
It is.
Like at the end of the first Iron Man movie where they play Iron Man by.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll play the. It's thematic. That'll be our outro song. Just one click. Let me do some video edits. Production value.
No, maybe
Yes.
later. Maybe later. Okay. Enjoy.
Have a
If you're
great,
playing at home. Drink.
great week.
Have a great week.
Have a great week. See you next Tuesday.
Or so.
Because it's Monday. It's
a Monday. It'll
Tuesday
be
by the
uploaded
time you watch
Tuesday.
it. Unless we live stream.